Naimah Lanae is popping up at Pop-Up PA for the Pink Lane Podcast today.
So, it's your girl Marquita Veon, and welcome to the Pink Lane Podcast, where we have powerful, innovative, next level conversations with that K, because we fancy, we make up words over here at the Pink Lane. So, yes, so to my left, I have a fabulous guest today, and Naimah. I should have asked you that before we press start. I was like, is it Naomi? In my head, it looked like Naomi, but Naimah
Lanae.
Naimah Lane.
Naimah Lanae.
Naimah.
Yep.
Lanae.
Yep.
So, girl, how you been?
Yeah, I've been good. How are you?
Awesome. And I love that you got your pink on.
I
I love when the guests wear pink. Like, they come through to the Pink Link with the pink. Like, extra brownie points.
You gotta represent, you know?
Yes. So, girl, let them know more about yourself.
So I am Naimah Lane. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, Chicago native, a mother, and a whole bunch of good juicy stuff.
Hey.
But that's the basics right there.
So Chicago.
Yeah.
We're gonna start there.
Yeah.
How long you been in Atlanta?
Oh, what is this? June? Like 6 months.
Oh,
yeah,
I'm a newbie.
I'm a re-newbie. I went to Clark, Atlanta for a few years.
Okay.
Went back home, and then I came back.
Oh, okay. So you came out here. What year was that, Clark, Atlanta?
I mean, it was a year. You know, it wasn't too long ago, wasn't too soon. But yeah, I did go back home for maybe about 5 or 6 years.
Oh,
and then,
wow. Atlanta, called your name again?
You know, might as well get right into it. I have a child with special needs.
Okay.
And really long story short, the Chicago public school system wasn't serving my child. So,
wow.
You know, I found a place that did. Georgia has some amazing resources. So, fat shots to the state of Georgia. So, that's kind of what brought us here.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You took that as a mom, the initiative to make sure your child get the help and the resources. I love that. So, she's kicking off with an awesome start. Like, mommies, bad as mommies.
Yes, bad mommies.
Yes, in a good way.
Right, in a good way. Is that a movie? That could be a movie. Bad mommies. In a good way.
I know. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, girl. So, we've done the intro. So, I saw you have a book out called Life Lessons from Love.
Yes, my lessons from love.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what inspired this book, may I ask?
Oh, let me get my fictional tissue. So right. So in the past like 2 or 3 years, I lost some really important people to me in my life. My uncle was killed in a motorcycle accident in April 2021. Never really had a dad. You know, he was very like instrumental in my life. And then fast forward April 2022. I lost my best friend, the man that I thought I was going to marry and spend the rest of my life with, to pancreatic cancer. He was very young, and I wasn't doing well. Very honest, tea time, like I was not. Depression, sadness, grief, all that stuff. And I'm a journalist by trade, so I just kind of started to write. You know, at first it was a cathartic process, but then it turned into something like really good.
Well, so, like I can share this with others.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So how long did the process of writing a book take? Was it just? I guess it was kind of like going through the healing, and that was your healing. So how long did that process take to write the book?
To write the book, honestly, only took about 4 months. I know
Good.
People. Sometimes depending on what you're writing, it can take a very long time.
Right.
But for what I was writing, I wasn't really writing to write a novel at first. I was just writing to kind of like. These people, like it was more, kind of getting it out of my head, you know, a safe space for the sadness. There were a few moments where I was like, okay, girl, this is not healthy. You know, I was spiraling a bit in my thought process and my behaviors. And so I was like, okay, how can I take what I'm going through and then help somebody else? Because through those were the 2 deaths that were mainly instrumental in the writing of the book. But another thing that I don't really talk about because it's still a bit traumatic for me, sitting on the porch in between April 2021 and April 2022 in Chicago. That's what we do. We sit on the porch and get outside.
Right. I know.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, so sometimes I'm sitting outside and all of a sudden a car rolls up, very calm, quiet night, and shoots my neighbor several times in the head and kills him instantly. I grew up with him like my whole entire life. Right, you know, so that is something that.
And then you was sitting there and bullets don't have a name.
You know, thankfully it was towards the end of the block, and I wasn't necessarily in like the line of fire.
Right.
But it's just to see somebody full of their life that was literally just walking down the street. And I don't know the situation. I don't know if he was targeted, but whatever, he was just gone. You know? Wow. So, I saw several situations where I thought I wasn't handling it well, but other people really wasn't handling it well.
And I'm glad you said that, because though you was experiencing what you was experiencing and how you was handling it, it doesn't seem like you turned to things that could have made life more destructive, like drugs or drinking.
No.
So were those people turning to those type of things to deal with that trauma and that pain?
Unfortunately, they already had those things going on.
But
the drug use, the alcohol use increased, and then I saw a lot of psychological and emotional trauma. You know, I saw people attacking each other, stealing money from each other. Now we talking about families, and we talking about not strangers. You know, I saw people turn to very evil and ugly spirits. And I was like, wow. So if this is a microcosm of just what's going on in my life, imagine it on the macro scale, on the worldwide scale, you know? And that's why you go to Kroger or grocery store, somebody back into you, it turns into an all-out blazing guns and somebody loses their life because people are so on edge from everything else.
That's why I tell my daughter, I'm like, baby, you might feel like flipping a bird to somebody.
Right.
But you don't know what kind of mindset, mind frame, or what that person is going through. Don't be doing it. All that road rage stuff, you think it's cute because you in your car.
Right.
Somebody would chase you down.
And you know, you and your dog like, go get them. But like,
you got to be mindful. And that's what I tell her. When people cut you off, you got to control you and how you respond to that, because you don't know what type of mental illness or what they on when they're doing certain things in these streets, like, and how they drive it. It may seem like it's nothing,
right?
But it could be bigger. You know, I've heard stories of, you know, stuff like road rage incidents, and it just pop out for one little thing, and you were like, really?
My grandma used to always say, "You crazy, but it's somebody crazier."
Yeah, my grandma.
You ain't the only crazy person.
It's always somebody crazier than the craziest person.
Right. So that was. The title came from literally the lessons that I learned from, you know, the different loves that I had in my life that I lost.
Yes, girl. I can definitely relate to that, because I lost my mom and my sister, and actually had to witness both of them departing. So I can definitely understand that. I need to write another book.
And how is your journey of healing? Like, how are you doing?
Like I tell people, healing is a lifelong journey, because my mom died in 2006, my sister in 1999, and though like I'm good, people see the smile, people see, you know, me moving and living life. However, it's some moments, you know, their birthday or may see something and it's like it was yesterday. Like you have that moment of, you know, missing their presence, and what coulda, shoulda been if they was here moments, you know, sometimes. And, you know, I don't question God, but I've had my moments, even as a life coach, and knowing, you know, but that's something that nobody ever come to terms with, you know.
And that is so healthy that you said, I have a firm belief in God, and it seems that you do too. And I think sometimes people who do believe in God, they want to go down the route of like, I can't question God. Well, this is real life.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if you want to, people like to say God is my father. So if you look at a parental relationship, do you always understand what your parents do?
Nope.
How do you get that understanding? By asking questions.
Girl, and I think that brought me relief too, because I think when my mom, after my sister had passed and my mom passed, and people was like, you know, like real religious, was like, well, you don't question God, but I feel like he said asking you should,
and
you know,
should receive,
seeking you should find, knock the door will be open.
And it will be open.
If I don't ask God, why is this happening, or try to get some solace in, you know, talking with him about my emotions.
Yes.
How am I, if this prayer is a conversation,
absolutely,
why can I not ask him? But I get in a sense of not questioning in a way that they're saying it, but sometimes it takes you just questioning to listen for his answers too. And I think I was doing it in that form because it helped me to move forward instead of just not asking, you know, and just holding on to it.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to be informed. If knowledge and wisdom call your name in the street, that means that you have a duty to respond to it.
Exactly.
The phone rings, nothing happens if you don't answer it, you know? So those questions, I think that's the beginning of like the healing. I really do.
Yes, most definitely. Even though I think after they passing, I was a little mad at God for some year, a year or two maybe. After my mom passed to like up to 08, and then he divinely orchestrated me meet someone who, because I couldn't listen to gospel because my mom loved gospel. So, you know, I'm not feeding my spirit neither.
Right.
And so, you know, you're going through things and going through life and you start questioning him. I guess I kept questioning and wondering and took the little madness on about, you know, those losses. But then once I guess turned back to him, I realized that I needed him more than anything instead of trying to be mad.
Right.
That was what I needed, was him in my life, you know, to continue to get through that. And that's what has kept me along the journey of healing, you know, my faith life with him and my relationship with God.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm healed. Some people might can get to the point of being healed. I think that for me, it's still a long process.
Daily.
It is daily. And sometimes when I get to the point where I'm like, I have all these questions and no answers, God has recently been coming to me and saying that you're worth an answer. Like, don't think that I take care of everybody but you. You know, he's really been trying to instill in me. Oh, don't cry. Like seriously, like I love you as much as I love everybody else.
Yes.
So that's been an important lesson for me, you know, along this journey. And when I saw like your podcast, I was like, oh, I wonder if she'd be interested in having me.
You know, I'm a Catholic. Now let this
Yeah.
But yes, it was just like, and even though things like that, and we're still healing daily because it's a daily process. Like I tell people, from not just that, but other things in life, like every, you know, it's
the people are still healing.
Relationship,
right,
you know,
right,
and things like that. And so, let me push this back.
You just want a little love,
right? I still want a hug on
yeah.
And so, though those type of trauma and the, you know, it seems disastrous, but even in that, it's still working. It's working for your good.
Yeah.
It's working. You know, it don't seem like it, and you're like, how could this possibly be? But the book, that book came from something that was so painful. So it turns that pain into purpose. And so that's what it is. Like even this. And I was thinking about that now we're on the purpose, because I'm like, after that, and you know, questioning my purpose and things like that, and you know, when I was feeling like I was mad and going through, I guess, a slight depression or whatever, and was like, my mom didn't, you know, live out her purpose, my sister, and then I don't even know what my purpose is, and now I find purpose in doing this podcast to talk to others who are living out their purpose. And I was like, that's purposeful for me.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's working even when you don't think it's working. You know, when you're going through those things. So I'm glad you're doing what you're doing and sharing your stories to help others. Yeah, because girl, you're purposeful. And so you was born and raised in Chicago.
Yes.
So how was that coming up, your childhood in, you know, the streets of Chicago? How was that?
That's interesting when people ask that question, because when you grow up from Chicago, it's just normal life. You know, like the unfortunate story about my neighbor who was killed. We've been downtown, you know, at the Taste of Chicago. All of a sudden, the people next to us pulling out guns, shooting at each other. So I don't really have, I don't know, tales, because it just was normal to me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my first ever memories of being robbed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were at the playground. I was in the after school program. I'm not gonna say the name because it's not a great story. But
Right.
y'all see y'all because y'all was awesome. But yeah, we were at the playground playing basketball, and some older kids wanted the court, so they pulled out some guns, took our balls, and told us like we couldn't play no more. We told the counselors, and then we just walked to the other part of the park and kept playing. So these are kind of just like the normalcies, but
Right, that's how it goes. Like,
Right.
that's the conversation. Like,
right.
yeah.
But at the same time, Chicago was a beautiful place to grow up in.
Oh, wow.
Chicago-
I'm glad to hear that.
Chicago has the best, one of the best beaches, like not on the coast.
I didn't know they had a beach.
Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is one of the biggest, it might be the second biggest of the Great Lakes, but it has ocean-like properties. It's so huge, like
Wow.
condos all up and down Lakeshore Drive, like fine dining, like the world-class cuisine in Chicago.
Girl,
is
you might make me
amazing.
go because my ex is from there, and I actually was supposed to go this year, but I didn't really get. Every time I was gonna go with him, it was like it didn't work out. My schedule, his schedule. So when I was gonna go without him this year because we together, but it still didn't work out. But I'm gonna get there.
You should. It's a great place to visit. I would say don't let the stories deter you. Life is life.
And that's what
Pay
someone
attention,
did one
but-
time too. I was thinking about going. They was like, "Girl, don't go out there. This is not." They didn't really care about going. I was like,
There are 2.5 million people in Chicago. They all ain't shooting at each other. I promise you that. Like it's a great place.
Right, I'm glad to hear that. And I love all the, the rap artists. I know it's drill music, but it's a lot of black guys that's trying to, I'm thinking that they're trying to turn, from doing that to something else, even though I think drill music is like the op
Yeah.
against ops.
That's our culture.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, it's our
So
culture.
hopefully they, G Herbo though, he's from there. I don't think he's into this type
Herbo is
of
from
music.
Chicago, and he has made a transition,
Right.
from the street culture and the music life. And I don't know if you know, but like Chicago has a world-renowned music and television and movie scene.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like Chicago PD, Fire, all the stuff that be coming on like
Right.
HBO, all that is filmed in Chicago.
Oh wow.
Showtime, like a lot of those shows are filmed in Chicago.
Right, when you think about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. My Shira from there. Well, she ain't from there. She's from Mississippi, but
Ooh,
Oprah.
Oprah, yes.
Oprah show was
that
from
way
there.
of Chicago, yeah.
Right.
We claim her.
So, girl, you been out here going on 6 months, and did you and your husband come, or are you a waiting lady?
Oh yeah, I know. I'm not married.
You lost your I'll let you finish this.
13 years is a very long time to.
Why? You always in that relationship? 13?
No, we were in each other's lives for 13 years. We've been boyfriend, girlfriend. We've been we gonna get married. We've been best friends. We've been only friends. Like,
wow, that's amazing.
It was an amazing span of 13 years. And what I will tell people from that relationship is, don't throw away people that it doesn't quite work with. Because if he and I would have like gone our separate ways the first time, we broke up as boyfriend and girlfriend, I would not have been able to spend the last moments of his life with him. You never know what the future may hold. And if somebody's a good person, be a good person. Love them in the capacity that you can love them.
Yeah.
It's not a problem with men and women being like great friends or things of that nature,
Right. You have to love people where they are. In that capacity, like you said. So I'm glad you had that time with him. It seemed like it gave you closure too, that you all came back together and you was able to be there for him.
Yeah, well, we've always been in each other's lives. Like, I have this strange thing where I'm like, he's coming, if I'm not with him in a relationship, he's coming in a relationship as a best friend. Has messed up lots of situations that we both had.
I was gonna say, how did you maneuver that when you were serious with someone else?
The thing, his name is Dante. Everybody in my life knows Dante. Any ex-boyfriend, my family, his family, everybody knows us. And and only God knew the time that he had on this earth. And I am so glad that I fought for the relationship, the friendship, for everything that we had, because he was one of the closest people in my entire life.
Wow.
So.
Girl, I definitely seen you continue healing energy about that, because I can't imagine. That sounds like, ooh. But you get through it.
I am, because you got to. It was a point where I hadn't eaten in several days. My kids either. I was a bad mom for a little while. I don't know. I think they ate some noodles or something. Something was in the house. I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't really care, right? And then I was like, you are either gonna sink or swim. Like, literally, the depression and the grief. I would akin that to only people who can understand is people who have lost a parent, a child, or a significant other. You know, those are, we lose grandparents, we love our grandparents.
Right.
We love our cousins, our aunties, all of them, rest in peace, that's great. But those relationships, you know, it's a sinking feeling. It's like a deep hole, and it's just like, God,
you gotta try to catch your breath when you're breathing, but it's like,
his death, the day he passed, that was the first time that, it was before he passed, he was still alive. I was actually there in the bed with him, and that was the first time that I hyperventilated, and I thought I was going to die. I could not catch my breath, and I'm just like what is going on? But that is a very real state.
Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Heartbreak is real.
Yeah. I've seen people die. I've heard that people like pass, you know, they've been with their significant other so long, they married 30, 40 years, and a person dies like in February and the next person dies like March. Like they don't really last very long without the other one.
And that's just like the guy when that unfortunate incident happened, I want to say in Texas, and he was going to visit his wife burial, and I think that same day he ended up passing. It was like he was suffocating when he was walking to just go view her. I don't know if you remember that story.
I don't.
But them kids in Texas, it's sad, but it was like you could see it on him. Like he was like he, you know, it was sad because of heartbreak.
Right.
Heartbreak is a real thing. That's why you have to be intentional with your whom you. But even then, like you can be intentional and you know. Still be mindful. Yeah. You can't be playing with people's hearts out here, y'all.
Because listen, seriously, like sometimes people take cheating like very lightly. But you can break a person down by cheating on them.
Yes, and then I was watching Tabitha's show. Her and her husband, they was talking about that because I guess they be in Tabitha's brown man.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
yes, he's handsome, but that's disrespectful.
Leave that lady husband.
Yeah, that's disrespectful. Like you see him and be like, oh, she got a nice husband.
Right.
But don't be going to DM him because she was like, you know, some people don't play about that.
Seriously.
People actually be coming up and doing what they gotta do.
Snap, oxygen, all that is full of shows.
You gotta be mindful because you messing with a whole livelihood in a marriage and all
kids,
that stuff.
Investments, you know, it's not just the physical
not just the heartbreak, but everything else that they have put into that marriage.
Yeah.
So
leave me alone.
So are you in a place to where you feel like you're dating out here, or how's it seem for you?
I'm in the streets.
No,
I'm joking.
Okay. Yes,
I'm joking. But I am. Yes, I think that marriage is a beautiful institution.
Yes.
I think that I am a beautiful person in a beautiful space, and I know that I have 2 children.
Right.
And as much as I have raised. My son's father was incarcerated, you know, when he was born, essentially before we even came home from the hospital, like that day. And my youngest, her father is great. He's in their life, you know, all is well.
Right.
But
how old is your son?
My oldest is 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You look great.
Thank you. So although I have been doing this, I still know that for them and for me, there is benefit in the institution. So I am open to finding, you know, the man that God had for me. It took me about a year to be able to say that maybe that's why he and I never like actually got like married, or never, like God knew what we didn't know, you know, and just because things happen in life until, I won't say in the negative way, I say in the positive way, as long as I'm still here, I have a purpose.
Amen.
So I'm looking forward actually to, you know, meeting that handsome man and
yes, girl,
doing
he's out there.
Yeah.
He might just be watching.
No.
Hey. Okay, that's good. So what advice would you give to someone who's dating? What are you doing to be intentional with your dating life? Like, what advice would you give to the ladies?
I have some really great advice. And there might be I have some young man or two that doesn't like this advice because I have used it on them. But I'm intentional about dating, and therefore I don't date when time is up. I don't date just to go out to dinner. I'm not even at hungry, first of all. Like, I'm trying to lose weight.
Someone said that. People had me thought I was tripping.
No, girl, listen. I could watch the Avengers with my kids. Like, I don't have to just go to the movie. I'm not in need of just things to do. You know, exactly. I'm very active in my own life. I can find things to do. So if I'm spending time with a man, it's because either I see potential or I'm interested in seeing if there is potential. Mm-hmm. And once I see that there is not potential, I am very intentional on ending the situation.
Girl, you said a mouthful, because I have been battling like that myself. Mm-hmm. And then when people have heard me say that, they're like, how you gonna just know? A conversation would tell me what I need to know. Yeah. Before I even waste my time, because his money, he can make the money back, but my time can't. Right. And I've done that before when I was younger. Just going here, going there, eat here, eat there. Right. Like I'm aiming to continue to be fit and reach my goals. Right. I don't want to go out to eat every night. Like, come on. Yeah, it's not. I'm not that girl anymore. Right. Been there, done that. There was nothing wrong with it when I was there. But and everybody doesn't deserve my energy. Like, yes, and you don't want everyone's energy on you, because then they can definitely block who is meant for you too. Exactly. If you're just giving everybody your time and energy, and then they're not adding up to the alignment that God has for you in your life.
Yeah. So my advice would be clear, understand what you want, what you don't want, and be okay with cutting it off, just for whatever childhood reasons, issues and stuff that you have. I used to be a people pleaser. Like, it would be harder for me to break up with somebody than to get broken up with. Like you can break up with me, I'm gonna be okay. I kind of been wanting to break up with you anyway. Yeah. I know, like, weird. Yes.
But now I'm glad we've grown. Yes. Like, got to a place of boundaries, and like, when it's time to remove yourself, we're at that place, because I think I was like, I don't think I was like this. Mm-hmm. Like, I can take it. And then we as women are definitely strong. Yeah. But we supposed to be in this soft girl era, but it's still there. Like, that's strong.
I am strongly soft.
Exactly. Like, I'm both. Because if need to be, I know how to definitely protect, like they say, guard your heart. Yeah. I know how to put myself in a position to not let anything outside of me bring me down. So that's where that strongness have to remain there. But also I can be soft to the person that's going to do right, love on me, and treat me right.
And even to the person that's not going to be vulnerable. I'm nice as I send you away. Like, I'm not mad that this didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so I'm trying to read my own handwriting. What is something that you would like to do that you haven't done, but it's something that you think about, you would like to get into?
Like, professional wise?
Either professional or a hobby or whatever.
Well, I love to play tennis. So I'm actually looking for like an adult recreational tennis type of league. I would love to kind of like hone up my skills in tennis. But I really enjoy playing tennis and volleyball.
I can see that. Yeah. You got the tennis is going to look good.
Thank you, yeah.
I never played. I think I tried, but I can't say I played. I just did something. I don't know what it was. Okay, so from your book, what is something that you wrote in there that you would like to share with the audience today?
Okay. So I think a good lesson would be, so throughout the book I began to hold these things called community conversations, where we talk about the book and we discuss chapters from the book, but really what it is a safe space for people from, you know, wherever I am to come together and talk about like their different grief and loss. Oh. So we read a few excerpts from the book, we open it up to people, and you know, for about the end of the night, people crying, there's tissues flowing and hugging, and it's very cathartic. But through those community conversations, I think people go into the book thinking that it's about romantic love, and I think one thing to me that stands out is it's about parental love and loss as well. The book opens up with the first chapter about the one day that I met my dad. I met him for about 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, and so as a child, I was very young then, probably about 9 years old. And to me, I call that our lifetime. Like that 4 hours
was a lifetime.
Was a lifetime. And so the book kind of opens up talking about giving really detailed events about like that 4 hours and everything that we did and how it kind of like stood out to me, and how like when he said goodbye, that was literally like him saying goodbye forever for the rest of my life. But I think that people kind of don't really put a good emphasis on like our about parental loss. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you've gone through that, right. And sometimes we lose our parents and they're still here, you know. Wow. So for me, that's what it was to like
you've lost your, even though he's here. It's like he's not.
Yeah, he lived 15 minutes from the house I grew up in.
Can I go into that or?
Sure.
Okay, so what had he just wasn't, was he locked up or?
No, girl, wasn't locked up. From what I know, he's actually a very successful trucking company owner. He has more kids. Yeah, I don't know if it was just mom, dad, I don't know. So long story really short, he and my mom actually kind of lived together before I came along. He had another child who actually, like, not from my mom or anything, but him, my mom, and that child lived together for a few years before I came along. I don't know what happened, but they didn't work out. And then that one day, I was sitting at the table, so random. I was coloring. TV was on. I don't know, my mom was in the back doing something. Somebody knocked on the door. And all I remember is like the really big afro that he had. So like in my dreams and my stories, I always call him Afro Man because I don't even really remember his face. Right. You know, I just remember.
It's just a blur.
Yeah. And in the book, I kind of describe him as like the Shaft Morgan Freeman super black dad. Like, oh, wow. I've just put, you know, all the black dads I see in the movies. I just kind of like put them all together. Right. And in my head, he has like a black trench coat and like a big black afro. And that's my Afro dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Girl, so, what did he say to you? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember this very vividly. My mom, she opened the door to let him in, and then she's like, "This is your dad." Like I was on like a game show or something. And I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? And so she's like, come give him a hug. So I was a very awkward child. So I'm like, okay. Like, wow. Hi, Dad. Like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't know. So then, like, it was awkward for a few minutes. Like, hey, kiddo type of thing. And then we left. We went to Target. We went and got some ice cream. And I will never forget at Target, he bought me a TV with the VCR connected to it. He bought me a green jumpsuit with a sleeveless turtleneck sweater thing. I should have knew he didn't have it all then. And then he bought me some shoes that was like way too little, so I never got to wear them. But I think subconsciously I held on to that TV until it was like DVDs was out. Then we wouldn't even use DVDs no more. And I still had the TV with the VCR. And only in this conversation, I promise you, at this moment, did I just put two and two together that I probably held on to that TV as like...
That was something your dad gave you.
Yeah.
That was the only thing you had to...
Yeah.
That he gave you. Wow.
Yeah, but that was that day. We got ice cream and stuff. My mom was like pretty happy that day. And then we came home, and then he was just kind of like, hey, kiddo.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that was that.
So how do you feel about that?
At first, I thought I didn't feel any way. Like sometimes you don't miss what you don't have. Like you don't know that you missed that. You know what I'm saying? You grew up as a vegetarian. You don't think about turkey and chicken.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't until like I got older and I'm like, oh bitch, you might be acting that way because you know what I'm saying.
Experience with your dad.
Yeah.
And you had this good experience, and then before you didn't have an experience, you was good. And he come in with this 4-hour experience that was awesome, and then nothing else.
It's like you read the last page of that chapter because it literally said, you know, a dream introduces you to, you know, possibilities you didn't know of, but this is real life. You know what I'm saying? And it was just snatched away.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I thought I didn't have any issues with it. Clearly, I had a lot of issues with it. But I'm at a really good place now where I have been able to long before identify like behavior patterns, emotional patterns. I've been going to therapy for the last 11 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
My son has autism. My oldest is autistic. So I saw in his journey many years ago that therapy was necessary. So I started therapy as a mom of an autistic child, trying to cope with that. And then it was like, okay, this is your mommy issues, but you got you issues. And so then I began to go to therapy for like my me issues. And yeah, therapy is good if you let it be good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you gone to therapy for your own?
No. The thing is, I had went to therapy for like, I guess maybe 3 sessions because this was around the time after, and this was like years later. This was maybe lost my mom in 06, my sister in 99. I didn't try a therapist till like maybe 2017 when I was having issues with my son. And then, you know, school, and I was like, maybe I need to talk to someone because I've been through these things, but it was short-lived. But the 3 visits that I did do, I think, was beneficial, but it was short-lived. I mean, I don't knock religions, but I'm a big faith believer, and she was agnostic. Maybe I should have tried another therapist. So I would go up in there and say, you know, be talking about my, you know, and I just felt like it was like she didn't say anything, but I just felt like there was
a barrier to kind of.
I feel like sometimes I felt that way, and maybe I should have told her, but she, you know, she allowed me to, you know, choose someone else if I needed to as well. But I was just like, well, I'm not gonna be shallow, you know. I don't knock nobody, but I think maybe I should have kept searching for someone I maybe could feel like they could relate to me when I'm talking about God and my faith when I'm in therapy. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So if again, this comes up in our community conversations. Actually, a young lady asked, she kind of had the same experience. She said, girl, I've been in therapy for a few months. I don't like it. It don't work. I don't get nothing out of it. Like, what do you mean? And so I said, I'm really glad she brought that up. And what I mean by that, number one, is you and your therapist have to be on the same page. And every therapist will tell you, if this doesn't work, feel free to find another one. Yeah. It's not you, it's a me thing. No, it's literally, my profession is to help you. If I can't, you know, I want you to be helped. So number one, I've quit several therapists. Quit them. Like if it don't work, quit them. It's okay. Number two, what you think is working in therapy is not going to give you that feeling of, okay, I had my session, I'm walking out the door and now I'm super, like, therapy work. Like that's
it's a consistent thing. It's daily. The therapist and then the work outside of the therapy. Yeah,
and it's not just an end goal. And also, a lot of what I learned from therapy didn't work until I was in the real life practicalness of that. So it felt, a lot of times for me, therapy does feel like it doesn't work until I look back 6 months later. Put y'all in my business, okay? Just had a situation with my son. So he has autism and, you know, some other things that's going on. And what I told my daughter was, she was like, you know, Mom, I thought we were getting better. I said, we are. I was so excited. And she looked at me like I was crazy. I said, this lasted for 20 minutes. We've had hospital stays before. We've had weeks. No, I am thankful.
I've been there.
You know? So it works, but you don't really see it until kind of like those moments where you put it into play. And I was happy. I was like, this was only 20 minutes. Thank you.
That's a blessing, because I noticed, like, and then when I think about it, it was 5 years ago, because I was 2018. I was moving, and then when I moved, that's when I stopped. So I did like 3 sessions, and then I cut it out. But I did like the point of going, and I felt like it was me time for me to, for someone to focus on what's going on with Marquita.
Yes.
And, you know, see something that I can't see when I'm dealing with others, or, you know, when I'm struggling, can help me, you know, tap into thoughts that I may not be thinking to tap into.
Yes.
So it was beneficial in that aspect, and now you make me feel like I should maybe definitely try it out again.
If you're open to it, I don't think that it will hurt unless you were forcing yourself to stay in an uncomfortable situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
But man, you can relate, because I've had that experience with my son. He's way better now. But I noticed the better and better that I did become for me, the better I was able to handle him, and the better he has become.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was telling someone else too, because they was saying they kid was doing this, and I was like, it starts with you.
Yes, it does.
When you want something to change, whatever it is, it always starts with you.
Yes. And
so when you can start, even, you know, in the workplace or wherever you may be at, if you having some issues, what can you do?
Yeah. And
I guarantee you're going to start seeing some results. And if that's you responding in a different way.
Right.
And it's going to bring about a different result.
You know, or anything.
Like when he used to act out or say, and instead of me popping off like my mom used to pop, or what I always knew, it was, okay, get out your ego.
Yes.
I don't have to be, macho mama. Mm-hmm. Let him have his moment. Let him calm down. And then be able to speak with him. I guess they call it gentle parenting.
Yes.
I was just trying to get peace.
Girl, yes. Peaceful parenting. Yes. That is so anti-urban culture, gentle parenting. And I was like pushed for like the first maybe 12 years of my son's life to like whoop him. Do this,
right.
do that.
People
Girl,
telling you to whoop.
Yes.
This and that, and that's what you're hearing. Oh, he need a good, and no, he need a good support. He need a
hug.
Yes. People don't get that. Like, and I noticed just being more patient and being more loving and doing and putting me first. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say, when you do what's best for you first, then you're able to be better for others.
For others, absolutely.
And so that's mentally and physically, spiritually, and all those things. It all comes, back around.
I am in the process of, so I'm working on my second book, but I'm actually working on 2 books at once because I don't know.
Because you got a lot.
Because a lot to say. But one of the books that I'm working on is a parenting book. Oh. And it's all of the books that I write. I like to refer to them as edutainment. Edutainment. Because I like to entertain you. Yeah, but I also like to learn something. Me personally, I'm not gonna read the book if I can't learn nothing.
Right.
Like I got stuff to do. But so yes, and a big focus of my parenting book is gentle parenting within the urban diaspora. Because it is, and I don't like to say amongst Black people, because Mexicans, there are a lot of other cultures that are economically and psychologically disadvantaged in America. It ain't just Black people no more, baby. To be honest with you, Black people have actually, statistically, Black fathers are in the household way more now than over the past like 15 to 20 years. So we making a little bit of headway. So I like to like be vocal about that. I don't ever want to say like Black people is Black people, because no, we get our stuff together. I'm glad you brought that up, because I'm loving like all these Black couples on TikTok, Black love, and it's like they're getting married younger, they're getting married more, because I feel like I'm in a place where I'm reshifting my consciousness to marriage, because I didn't see it a lot growing up, and then when I did see it, it was like for the wrong reasons. They hated each other.
Yeah, or they got divorced quickly, and so that had left me with like, I don't know if that's something I even want for years. Mm-hmm. And so it's like I'm shifting that consciousness to welcome a marriage in my life and welcome that type of union, because you know, my environment, you know. So you have to retrain yourself
exactly,
and to welcome that attraction back into your life. Cause
I come from a single parent home. My mother has made it very clear for many years she ain't interested in a partner. She had, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of grew up under seeing that, and you know, if I gotta make it work,
that's okay just to get in a relationship and have a boyfriend. Like I saw a lot of that people had long term, and I found myself in that same position, but I'm breaking that cycle and that mindset because that's all I saw, and that's what I thought we did. That was okay. We didn't have to get married. It's just a piece of paper for the longest. But now, as I'm, you know, like 30, about to be 39. Like, I do want that paper. I do. Thank you, girl. I do want, you know, to have that union. I do want to be submissive to my husband. That is a man that I can be submissive to. So.
And I'm so excited to build, you know, the things that I've been able to do on my own. Just imagine, like, the counterpart, like the person, you wake up with this person, go to sleep with this person, and y'all got like the same visions. Whatever it is, if you want to be a farmer, you want to make shoes, you want to be a rapper, whatever it is, like you got that person that y'all honed in on these similar goals together, you know? Whew. Yeah, I'm excited.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I love it because it's already done.
Right. It really is. It's already written. Yeah.
Yes, it's already planned out. So, girl, yes. So, do you manifest stuff? Like, we manifesting hubbies up in here today. So, what else you be manifesting?
I do. So, I have a vision board every year on my birthday, and I've been doing this since before she was born, before it became, like, popular to manifest. So, I am a very, like, spiritual and religious person. You would consider me to be Muslim. Like, that would be my religion. And I read the Quran and I read the Bible a lot. And I am a very, like, literal person. So, like, if the Bible tells me to write the vision and make it plain, that is an action step for me. So what I literally, every year around my birthday, I literally write like my vision out, cut those pieces out, you know, put up what I see, and I'm very intentional about like the foods that I eat, the people that I talk to, like the music that I listen to, even like cleaning products and stuff in my home and food that I feed my kids. I'm just telling my kids now, it's a little tight right now, but it's not tight, but it is tight because I choose to pay for high vibrational foods. You know, I choose to not eat McDonald's. You know, I choose these things being very intentional, knowing that like God, myself, and then what my life looks like is kind of all I have. So I do know that, you know, we're in a relationship to create what I see.
Yeah.
You know, and then I also make what I see what I want until it is what I want. So, for example, had a little issue with my son the other day. I looked at the victory. I looked at that it only took 20 minutes for us to escalate so high.
And focus on
those emotions.
Like
it happened. No, but it only took 20 minutes. So for me, like, I am moving in a positive direction as far as parenting goes. You know, because that's the only thing I'm holding on to.
I salute you because I mean, my son wasn't autistic. He had behavior issues, but I definitely can relate and salute, you know, you raising an autistic child. I can
thank you.
Salute you because I know it's a job.
Girl. And it won't ever not be a job because at the same time you could be a parent but you're still a person too. Like I still be having my period that's coming on and I'm still emotional and I'm still, you know, it's like I'm still all of these other things, but I still have to stand up and be there for my child and
advocate for him
advocate.
And all that.
Yes, and I've seen so many, I won't even say men, I've seen so many sorry women choose to not advocate for their children.
Girl.
That makes me so upset.
Because no matter what he's done, he's still my son, and I need to have that voice for him.
You know, I feel like this is what God tasked me with. So outside of like my son being a person, this is an assignment that I was given. I don't want to fail. The assignment that I was given. I can't send my kids back to Chicago just because I don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go buy McDonald's every day because it's 99 cents for a burger. Like, because
it's not worth it.
It's not. It affects his chemical balance. It affects his emotional states. Like, then he up all night. Like, there are so many things, and I am If I could go on a rant and a rave about sorry mothers, I would, because for so long we've been talking about sorry dads, and yeah, a lot of them are sorry, but just the familial makeup, a sorry mother is typically way more detrimental to the child than a sorry dad is. Sorry, it's just
we're
the
here
way.
to nurture and
Right.
all of that and care for, and so I can see how they can be. And I'm just glad that, you know, like, he's in a better place because, girl, I went there. I was there for years. It was like, Lord, but just steady praying and just being consistent. And even now, if he have moments where he want to be grown or say things, it's like it's not as often. And I just thank God for where we have come and for his maturity and knowing that's not right.
Right, like he has grown as well. That's what God told me. Also, like, he is my child too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I am working on him because you deserve that respect and that honor as well. So what I had to, like you said, take that ego out of it, because as parents we want to be like, you do what I say when I say,
and that's what keeps them riled
up.
That's
and it's like,
okay, this what you're gonna get.
Right.
Trying to fight with fire.
Yes.
Just adding fear.
And then you're dealing with somebody who's not hormonally balanced.
Exactly.
They're a teenager.
Exactly. They're going through hormones. They're going through things themselves. Their brains off balance. All this stuff that they're going through. So you gotta take that in consideration when you just trying to. And then when you see these kids that people was tying them up in cages and stuff on TV, like, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And being mindful, like, okay, so if the kid was doing all this, as parents, you know, we got to.
What?
And I know for myself, it is hard to get help when you having a child that has behavior issues or whatever. They don't want to really deal with it. They feel like, oh, that's your child.
That's your child.
Till they're 18, and then when they're 18, guess who they're gonna be calling? Still you.
Or they're gonna call the police, and you're gonna go straight to jail.
And then they gonna keep them in there long,
right?
Because they don't want to deal with it in there.
Yeah, I was. It's a helpless feeling. It is a.
I've been there. It took years.
Yeah.
Years of advocating and just praying and getting me together, and I just continue to pray, because even though things are good, you know, and things like that, it's just a continued praying and trusting that, you know, he's good and he's in a, you know, God got him. You know. Yeah,
that's God is really all that I've had in many moments of my life. You know, and when people be like, prove God is real, I don't have to go to a book, even though, like I said, I read the Bible and I read the Quran. That's not proof to me. The proof is in my life, and I can show you.
Like when they say about Jesus, like, you know, and I dated a Muslim, and so I don't have, like, I like their discipline with their faith too, because I've been out somewhere and a Muslim just start praying, like, we gotta stop this, it's prayer time. And I admire that, you know, but it's like, for me, Jesus, when they say stuff about, you know, Christ and things like that, the reason why is not because, the white man put it in me to believe in Christ. I know for myself, when I was in situations, I said Jesus,
it worked.
And Jesus showed up.
Right.
So I can't go by what the white man did and this and that, because I'm only going by, okay, I tried them for myself.
Right.
And that's why I still continue to believe in Christ. So
Yeah.
Girl, yes, you just up there talking, Hansi. So, what is a quote or a book recommendation that you would recommend to the audience?
Very easily, outside of my book, My Lessons from Love, available on Amazon.
Like shameless plug.
No, a book that changed my life, hands down, is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Coelho.
I think I put that book in my dang on Amazon cart.
You gotta purchase it. I'm telling you, the book is short. It's kind of like my book. It's short, but it is so life-changing, because if you're open to it, the book shows you the power of self. I won't give everything away. The main character was very, like, full of faith, but was tested on every angle. But the way that he not only took those situations but bended them to his will, the book shows you a real life examples of manifestation without ever using the word manifest.
Wow.
Yeah, I would recommend The Alchemist to everybody, because an alchemist is literally it's a scientist or a person that takes chemicals and creates new substances. That's what an alchemist does by trade. So if you want some gold, besides if you don't have the the actual element of gold, an alchemist takes things, puts them together, melts them, mixes them to the point where you actually have a specimen of gold. And so that's what the book is talking about. It's centered around a little boy, but he is a true life alchemist. And I would recommend that book to everybody. It's amazing.
Wow. It sounds amazing. So it's like you using science to...
But the book is the life application of it. So it doesn't talk about science at all. So just, how can I? Okay, I'll give you one really quick example. It takes place in the Middle East. The boy finds so he was a merchant. He sells things for his family to help take care of his family, right? So somehow he finds himself in the middle of these trade wars. Like, people got swords, they in sand, they in the middle of the desert, and he's not supposed to be there. And he's like, God help, he's about to lose his life. Mm-hmm. He is able to physically whip up a sandstorm. Yes, he is able to change the weather with the power of his mind. Wow. In the book. So, and when people...
They should have a movie.
I think the movie would not dumb it down, but I think you got to read it.
I'm gonna read it.
Yeah,
it seems like somebody can do that.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
It's a great piece.
I'm definitely gonna read it, girl.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you would like to share that I haven't asked you?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Besides, definitely check out the book on Amazon.
Yes, please go support her.
Join one of the community conversations. If you guys follow on social media, TikTok or Instagram, I post about it all the time. We would love to have you guys out. It is an amazingly safe space to grow, heal, to meet new people. I've met so many people in the community and connected with people, so it's an awesome space.
That's great. And so the community is your community?
So, no, I actually take it to different places. So, okay. I've done a few apartment complexes. I'm working with the library now to hold a few events at the library. And my goal is to get into Fulton County school systems and to work with teenagers to help them process grief and kind of give them a space.
We claim that. It's done.
Yes.
It's done. Y'all send that energy over here.
Yes, that good energy.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe too while we at it.
Yes.
So, girl, I definitely thank you. So, what is your Instagram handles too? Did you get it out?
Yeah, I am Naimah So Shy on everything. NAIMAHSOCHI. So Chicago, Naimah So Shy.
So Shy. Oh, I'm like, okay, Naimah So Shy. Okay, I like that. So now I thought that was your middle name, one for sure. But I'm glad you said that. Okay. So I definitely thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
I feel like we have so many similarities and things that we definitely went through.
Yeah.
Wow.
We connect after this, outside of this and everything.
Yes. Yeah. So bye, y'all. See y'all next time. Oh, I'm sorry, but like always, I like to tell you, you are great in the life you desire, you create. So get to creating like Naimah So Shy here. I said your name right.
You did not, but it's okay. Naimah.
Naimah So Shy.